Hey, hey, there we are. Why is YouTube so slow from the time I hit start until the time the video comes on? Let me set up my goal here on my desktop that's in front of me. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't set this up ahead of time. So if you're watching from the replay, just skip ahead a few minutes. Hey, Jewel, let me just get my screen set up. Rita, welcome in. Hope you guys are having a good Memorial Day. Hello, Leanne. Let me just get the chat set up. Hey, Kathy Taylor. Another Kathy. We have so many Kathys lately. We have another Leanne, too, and it's her birthday today. I want to give her a shout out if she comes in. Hey, Sassy Granny, my friend. There we go. I don't know if we're going to have anybody come in on a holiday. Let me pin that message. There we go. Okay, now I see it. How's everybody doing on this Memorial Day? I actually slept a lot. So I'm still kind of like, I'm still kind of in a sleepy fog. And I am definitely going to watch my ball game tonight. Not missing it for anything. So this will be a lot shorter. Hey, Kathy X50. I'm here. Cold and rainy in Virginia. It's actually quite warm here in Los Angeles. I mean, not warm enough for the AC to have kicked on yet, but warm enough to have, fires in the area. We've got a fire burning right now in the Hollywood Hills. Wow, 21 people in here. I'm April Davis, PI. I'm a licensed California private investigator, and I'm here to report on the Nancy Guthrie case. And sadly, I have to say today is day number 114. Yeah, that's got to be a tough Memorial Day for Savannah and family. Hi, Texas Mopar. How are you? Where are you guys coming in from, all of you today? Leanne is in Virginia. I'm in Los Angeles. I know Sassy, she's up in New York, but throw it in the chat. Where are you guys coming in from? I know, it's just unbelievable. Well, David, my God, you're going to win the prize today for being the first time out. There you go. Have a nice day. Indiana, says Kathy Taylor. Yeah, I can't believe it's already like Memorial Day. That means in literally the next 6 to 8 weeks, literally, I'm not kidding you, in LA, they'll have Halloween items coming out in the store early July. Austria? Welcome in, Austria, Winter VL or Weiner VL. Sorry, I mispronounced that. I don't think I've seen anybody come in from Austria. Welcome. That's awesome. Is this case well known in Austria? Because I'm getting people in other countries like New Zealand and Australia and Europe and, all these European countries and South America, Mexico, Canada saying that this is a big story everywhere. Are you here for the Nancy Guthrie story, Wiener VL? Hey, Kathy, you're in Florida. Jewel is coming in from Houston, Texas. I know, Leanne, winter crawls, especially when you have like double surgeries like I had. January and February are never good months for me. And then when baseball starts to pick up, that's when I start functioning. Baseball and my birthday, and then summer, fall because I love Halloween. Then there's Thanksgiving and Christmas, which I don't really do much for now because I live alone. But yeah, like it's always those winter months that just are kind of like yucky. Cheryl Hagman, Texas. You saw me in the Epstein files. Oh no. Well, you're going to be the second person to be timed out. Oh boy. I guess there's people that have nothing better to do on a holiday. Don McWhorter, welcome in. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the most likely scenarios as laid out by Jennifer Coffendorfer, the former FBI agent. And then, and she's not working on this case. She's just reporting on this case. I think she may even have her own YouTube channel. Hazel, justice for Magnolia and prayers for Nancy. May she be found. I don't know who Magnolia is, but okay. Yeah, I hope she is found. Hello, who is this? The Roof, and I can't even pronounce that. We'll just call you Roof. Okay, I want to lay out her scenarios, and then I want to tell you mine because I still think this is, one thing or another. I don't think there's dozens of possibilities here. A retired FBI agent has outlined 4 possible scenarios in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. Let's see. Oh, I'm just going to be taking people out today. Gosh. Let's see. Uh, Now, Jennifer Coffendorfer says, well, let me just start over again. I keep getting interrupted by these very rude people that are coming in. And most of you are not rude. It's just the people I have to take out. Jennifer Coffendorfer, a former FBI special agent, shared her assessment in a post on X, describing the case as appearing consistent with a kidnapping for ransom plot gone south. Very possible. It remains unclear who may be responsible for what happened to Nancy, and investigators have not publicly endorsed Coffendorfer's theories. Remember, these are just theories, as is everything that myself and all my audience talks about. Coffendorfer said the scenarios were based on patterns seen in past investigations and were not presented as conclusions. Remember, here on my channel, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. One possibility she described is what she referred to as a wrench attack, in which an organized criminal group targets a victim believed to have access to wealth. I've been hearing that term more lately, wrench attack. Coffendorfer suggested that extensive publicity. No, I read that wrong. Coffendorfer says that extensive publicly available information about Nancy Guthrie and her family could have made her a target for abduction and ransom demands. Well, of course, that goes back to what I said from day one, the Savannah factor. She further speculated that if such a plot occurred, Nancy Guthrie may have died during the crime, with perpetrators continuing to seek payment afterwards. There has been no confirmation from law enforcement that such a group is involved. Now, I do think a group is involved. I do. Now, how big is that group? I don't know. The next part of it is family and acquaintance theories raised. Well, yeah, because 75 to 92% of the time, a person is kidnapped or even unalived by a family member or a close associate. Oh, thank you for the star, Dawn. You are the first jewel of the day. Hey, Matt. A second theory she mentioned involves the possibility of a family-related motive. Coffendorfer said that Guthrie's immediate family has been cleared by investigators, but said some observers have raised the prospect of involvement by a more distant relative. I hadn't heard that one before. She added that she was not actively pursuing that line of thinking herself and presented it only as a possible theory that has been discussed publicly. Police have not indicated that any family member is a suspect. That's true. The police have, in fact, cleared the family. The FBI has cleared no one, at least publicly. Coffendorfer also pointed to the possibility that someone known to the family, such as a handyman or a friend, could have planned an abduction. True. people that worked in the home, outside the home, friends, neighbors, churchgoers. She referenced past cases in which individuals with familiarity and access delayed ransom demands or orchestrated kidnappings over extended periods. Saraf! Oh my gosh, where's my hype button? Saraf, you are the very first super chat of today. How could I ever thank you enough? Hello, says Saraf. Can everybody give Saraf a big like? Yeah, so it is possible that it's somebody close to her. But there's been no official suggestion that that's what it is. Remember, the police said that it didn't happen. The FBI is like, no, nobody's clear. They're not saying a word. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see the second one. I've watched one of the FBI videos. Oh, which one did you watch? Everybody give him a like. There's the one where I talked to the ex FBI agent, and there's the one where I spoke. Well, I basically wrote a letter to the FBI. Oh, still need to watch the second one. So rough. Everybody, I hope you're giving him a thumbs up. Horsey Horse Lips. Oh, that's a great username. Praying for Nancy and her family. Absolutely. Welcome in, Horsey. Leanne, Jennifer Coffendorfer's show this morning suggested that Savannah's first husband could be a possible suspect. Now, that's interesting. You need to see my suspect video under my video tab. Thank you, Sarab. Still need to watch the second one with the ex FBI. Everybody give Saraf another thumbs up. Such a big supporter of the channel. I don't know. I would have never seen that first check yet without Mr. Saraf. No. Ash Cash, welcome in. You're welcome, Horsey. Now, revenge motive is also suggested. Remember, I said from the beginning, revenge or money. Savannah factor, or more likely, somebody close to her. Remember, if you're related to a celebrity or you are a celebrity, you have a big target on your back. No, sadly, Mimi, no arrest yet. So now, a fourth scenario she outlined in a revenge-driven crime in which an individual with a grievance against Nancy or her relatives, like, yeah, Savannah, that stands out, carried out the abduction to cause emotional and financial harm. Someone angry at Nancy, a Guthrie family member, once again, I go to Savannah, perpetrated this crime to cause absolute misery to the family, Coffendover wrote. Now remember, these are only possible scenarios. Under this theory, Coffendover said the perpetrator's goal would extend beyond money to inflicting distress and public scrutiny. Investigators have not publicly identified any such motive. Investigators have not endorsed any theories. It remains unclear which, if any, of the scenarios outlined by Coffendorfer align with evidence gathered by the investigators. True. Officials have not endorsed her assessment, and her theories reflect her personal analysis rather than any confirmed findings in the case. Yes, it's true. It's just her opinion. Hello, Joanne. Welcome in. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, who is leading the investigation, well, I don't think he really is leading it anymore, just my personal opinion, has faced mounting criticism over the handling of the case and past conduct, including calls to resign after reports he misrepresented aspects of his work history. Yeah, we know about that. Hey, Dawn, she's she's saying thank you to Sarah. Let's see. So yeah, still need to watch the second one with the ex-FBI. Okay. So, so you've seen the one with the letter. Yeah, because the first one is the one where I talked to the ex-FBI agent for about 45 minutes. And then the more recent one was me sending the letter to the FBI, which I still think everything I put in that letter is pertinent information. Well, let me read this for a minute before I finish what I was saying. Well, let me just finish what I was saying, then I'll go to the chat. Earlier this month, county supervisors declined to remove Nanos from office, but voted to refer allegations of possibly perjury to Arizona Attorney General, intensifying scrutiny as the investigation continues. Critics have also questioned early investigative decisions, including the handling of the crime scene, though Nannis has defended his department's work and said investigators are making progress. Okay, Horsey, we're going to keep this to Nancy today. Yeah, let's just keep this to Nancy Guthrie. You're welcome to be in here, Horsey, but we're going to keep the chat relating to Nancy Guthrie. Now, I still think revenge or money, it's either the Savannah factor or it's more likely somebody close to her rather than strangers. That would be a very small chance that it's strangers. I mean, it could be some construction people in the neighborhood for all we know. But when I say someone close to her, I mean like family or friends or somebody she went to church with or someone worked within the house or on her property or like a contractor, a delivery person, an Uber driver. But it could also be, you know, at a house that's very close to hers where there was some unsavory people that knew who she was and decided to do this. Now, my question is motive. I think that's more important than all these possible theories and possible suspects is motive. Was was the motive all along really supposed to be an unaliving? If so, it would have been much easier just to do the deed in the house and not take a body with them. I believe she was alive at the moment she left the house. I mean, we have multiple pieces of physical evidence that indicate she was alive when she was taken. Why to go to all that trouble to take somebody and risk getting caught, uh, you know, with her, then and then just take her out later? Or was the motive really a kidnapping? I mean, yes, it was a kidnapping because she was forcibly removed from her home, probably against her will. But was it a legit kidnapping for ransom? Usually ransom notes are left at the scene or they're sent to the family. They're not sent to TMZ, 48 hours later. The notes to the local news agencies, they may have come in on Monday. I'm not sure. I know TMZ's notes didn't come in until Tuesday, and this happened around, between, 1:30 and 2:30 early Sunday morning. I think that's a little late to send ransom notes to TMZ. Um, let's see. Ash Cash says, this case, I don't know what to think anymore. Don McWhorter, April, have the authorities ever got a result from the hair they ended up getting? Not yet, because it sat in Florida for 12 weeks with no results. It's since been taken to the FBI, and I think they have sent it out to another lab or multiple labs because they may have more than one. There's probably more evidence than we know about, but 12 weeks were wasted, in my opinion. Now, if it was intended, or if it wasn't really intended for a kidnapping for ransom, but maybe it was intended as something else, and then the scene was set up and these weird ransom notes were sent just to make it look like it was a kidnapping for ransom, that's also a possibility. Like I said, I'm more interested in the motive than all these possible theories. Now, I originally thought when this happened that she died quickly. I still agree with that. For some reason, I thought she was put into water, but then my mind went away from that. I didn't think buried in the desert because the desert is so hard, the soil, unless you prepared that ahead of time. How would you bury someone in the desert unless you just did a shallow grave, which is possible? This FBI agent or ex-FBI agent that I talked to, who is, by the way, not Jennifer Coffendorfer, but someone else here in California, he thinks she's 6 feet under in the desert, but it's really hard to dig a hole in the desert. However, I have watched another YouTuber who is a allegedly reformed drug addict, criminal, inmate, who now lives in another country. He has a huge YouTube channel, and as a criminal, he said it's very, very hard to get rid of a body in water because you have to have it weighed down or pinned down somehow. If it's not anchored or weighted or in a car, if it's just, tossed in, it's going to float. And I don't want to get too gruesome here. I mean, at least it will wipe out DNA evidence quicker than if it was buried. But you have to have that very well planned to dump a body in water. And was this getting rid of the body very well planned? I mean, for all we know, she could still be sitting in somebody's house, alive, watching Days of Our Lives, but I doubt it. Like, she's 84 years old with a long list of health ailments. She didn't have, her glasses, apparently, maybe her hearing aids, her shoes, regular clothes other than night clothes, nightwear, no meds. You know, you would think if somebody was going to take her for ransom, they would have known these details. I mean, apparently the pills were laid out right in the kitchen and they were in the house for a minimum of 41 minutes. We don't know that somebody wasn't already in the house by the time Tommaso allegedly dropped her off from he and Annie's house. You know, we don't know how many people were involved when all the characters got in. The security at that house was too limited. We only know a small piece of this. Now, I hope the police or at least the FBI know more than we, the public, knows. But what do you guys think? What's your theory? What was it? Was it already planned as an unaliving? Was it planned as a kidnapping for ransom, and then something went wrong, and they had no proof of life, so they had to abandon the plan? Uh, you know, I do think it would have been more helpful if the Pima County sheriffs had allowed certain search and rescue groups that are professionals to come in from the very beginning because, you know, even though she's probably close to her home, she lives in the middle of the desert. It's very easy to hide somebody in the desert. I think the more boots on the ground, so to speak, would have helped out the situation. Um, Peggy says, "Hey, April, happy Memorial Day. Hope you're having a good day." I mostly slept today, Peggy, and then I went straight into this, planning this, and I'm not going to stay on too long today, I hope. And then I'm going to, eat and watch my ball game and just relax today, and not think about, you know, everything else that has to be done. Take a breather today. I hope you guys are doing well. So, what do you guys think? Do you believe in these theories that Jennifer Koppendorfer has talked about? Like I said from the very beginning, my theory is, Savannah factor or somebody most likely close to her. And when I say close to her, I'm not just meaning friends and family. I mean, it could be someone within the neighborhood or someone that, was brought into the neighborhood and they realize, like, hey, look, that's, Savannah Guthrie's mother's house. But, I think somebody had intimate knowledge of the security systems or lack thereof, because I think it was very ballsy to go into that house of someone who's living in $1 million home, who is the mother of somebody rich and famous, and to think that they're not going to get caught by some alarm system. Seems like they had a very intimate knowledge of that house. And I need to adjust the chat here on my phone because I think I'm not seeing everybody. Um, okay, Bill Meyer, welcome in. Where are you coming in from, Bill? It was planned to put her in protective custody because she was getting threats, thinking outside the box. You know what? That's not what happened, Bill, in this particular case. I just don't believe that at all. Uh, Kathy says, to me, it was a hired hit. It wasn't about money. It was about hurting family. Very possible. Megyn Kelly, who I don't watch often, I don't align with her political beliefs at all. But she has said from the very beginning that she's, it's the M word. It was, she believes it was an unaliving. This whole kidnapping thing was all created after the fact, maybe to, throw people off the trail. That's just what I'm saying. The ransom notes, everything seems fishy, but yet the FBI thinks there's something to them. Nobody believed the next 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 that came into TMZ, which is like the third set of ransoms. But now I'm not sure about those either. There's just so much to digest with this, and there's so much that we don't know. And it's making me, I've always had a sleep problem my whole life. And then all the medical stuff that's happened to me and the medical anxiety of, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I don't even want to ask, knock on wood. Let's not say what's going to happen next. Let's not bring on negative energy here, but I lay awake in bed at night and I think about this and I feel like I know this woman and I've never met her. I've never met Savannah, but now I feel a connection, a distant connection to Savannah just because I'm reporting on so much, you know, personal information about her family. And if she's watching, I'm just trying to keep your mother's case relevant. I've heard recently that the HOA wants the boots on the ground out of the neighborhood and they may get kicked out soon. And, those people aren't hurting anybody. They're just trying to keep the case relevant. Bill, it was planned to put her in protective custody. No, I already read that. Hey, Jane Rice. Which theory? Dawn says, I'm going with your theory, April. Which, the Savannah factor or the fact that it was somebody close to her? Okay, I think she was alive after leaving that house and then after not so much. Okay, yeah, totally. Because of the oxygenated blood and the spiked heart rate on the last transmission from the pacemaker. Then further out, she didn't make it. But why didn't they take her meds? Oh. Kathy Taylor, what about her dad's side of the family? Savannah wrote a book with cousin kidnapping the girls, Annie and Savannah. You know what? I read that, and I think that's completely unrelated to this. Yes, the Savannah factor. Hey, ladybugs. How you doing today? Where are you coming in from? I don't know. That's a good question. It's all a mystery. There's no kidnapping like this on record that I know of. I just, there could be a few, but Elias, Waco, Texas. Hey, Boston Bill, my friend. Hi, April. Just swinging in real quickly. Yes, I left a like. Thank you, everybody. Listen to Boston Bill. Oh my God, I didn't even notice at the top of the screen because I'm looking at the chat. There's 66 people in here right now, and there's only 22 thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that like button, double tap that screen for the red hearts. Let me see them coming across the screen. And please subscribe if you're not. I just hit 3K a couple days ago, and now I'm at officially, 3,060. I'm not just shooting for 4,000 at this time. I'm shooting for 5. The more we get, the more YouTube will boost this algorithm and I'll get more views. Yes, Bill, this case makes me lose faith in law enforcement. Absolutely. Ladybugs, I'm from North Carolina, South Carolina. I joined you because I just want our internet grandmother found. This is so depressing and so long drawn out. I know, Ladybugs. I have a cousin in South Carolina and she comes in occasionally. Where's cousin Brenda? I haven't seen you lately, Brenda. Are you listening? She's very busy with her family, so she doesn't get in much. Don McWhorter says, it's definitely has been a tornado of questions and not enough answers. Berta Donnelly, welcome in. Hi, April. What's up? Anything new on the case? We just talked about Jennifer Coffindoffer and her theories. Ladybugs, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm busy as well today. It's busy as well today. All the bikers, I wish they'd go home. Oh, do you mean like motorcycle bikers? Or bicyclist bikers? Boston, it's been way too long before they call it. It's been way too long. How long before they call it? I wish I knew, Bill. I'm hoping soon. But I think they're waiting for that DNA. And if they don't, if they all they have is one single strand of hair that has no root, that could drag out for months and months and months. Yes, it's Spring Motorcycle Week. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's got to be loud ladybugs. Bill Meyer. Well, sounds like you made up your mind. Well, I don't think she was taken to hide her. I mean, I just don't think that at all. Um, I don't believe in the abducted by aliens theory either. Uh, Boston Bill was on my Harley today. Nice. Let me take a sip of water here. Okay, Christy Heary, welcome in, Christy. I think it was totally about money, most likely, and probably thought Savannah would pay whatever quickly, and that didn't happen. Maybe they didn't know about her meds. Well, for someone who was in the house for 41 minutes and she had them all lined up on the counter, I think they would have found them, especially since the house was allegedly found with all the lights turned on the inside. Exactly, Dawn. I say it every video. Justice for Nancy. If someone knows, please come forward. Yes, call 1-800-CALL-FBI. And if you don't have any luck with the phone lines, take the advice of a FBI agent that I consulted with, a retired FBI agent, who said it may help more to get your message seen by writing a letter. And I looked it up. It's best to send it to the office in Phoenix, Arizona. Ladybugs 84. I sure hope they do keep our YouTubers stay at Nancy's. Me too. They are not hurting anything. I agree. To be honest, it makes me right down mad. Our community would never see this kind of garbage from Pima County. They should be allowed to stay as long as they, don't cause a big ruckus or, leave their garbage behind or destroy property or trespass. More power to them if they want to sit out there in the summer in the 120-degree heat, which I just don't think is going to be medically possible. Lori Smith, welcome in. Still confuses me why her 10 p.m. meds not taken. That's what I've heard. And that bothers me, Lori, if that's true. That bothers me a lot. That's the best thing that I've read so far that's come across today. And I appreciate everybody in the chat and everybody that's contributing. Everybody, let's give a thumbs up. We only got 34 and 64 people watching right now. I'm going to read it again, Lori Smith. Still confuses me why her 10 p.m. meds not taken. That's what I'm hearing. I just don't know if that's true. Maggie, hello. Sandy P, why don't they get the local news involved with the investigation of why they won't come out and talk to people? Well, I know why the FBI is not talking to people. Although I do find it strange that it's 114 days later and her caregivers, Annie and Tommaso, have never made a statement, whether online, publicly. They see the cameras coming at them and they're showing deceit, deception, and shame. Their reactions should be opposite. They should be running to those cameras, begging for help, begging for their mother to be found, begging for someone to come forward, because it's most likely, could be not likely, but it's more likely that somebody in the community is involved in this crime. Not 100%, but 90%, that it's somebody close. And they need to come out and plead their case. That's very strange. And they've gone into hiding. Why? Ladybugs. If she didn't take her 10 p.m. meds, then it's straight to the point that she never made it home. Period. Absolutely. I've had to discontinue some of my meds the night before a surgery, and by the time I get into that surgery, especially if you get to the hospital and they're like, "Oh, the doctor's behind and the operating room is full, and you're gonna have to wait another 6 hours." And by the time I get to the surgery table, I am almost dead, and it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. Like, you go like that if you're on heart-related meds. And I don't know all the things that were wrong with her heart, but enough that she was required to have a pacemaker. And I do believe by her physical appearance that she was also on a blood thinner. And if she, I had a little minor surgery with a hole the size of a pinhead. And the next day I was in a medical emergency because that little hole the size of a pinhead was still bleeding, even when I was sleeping. I could have died in my sleep. They said, you got to rush back to urgent care immediately or go straight to a hospital, like immediately. And they had to use some sort of silver nitrate or something to literally silver to glue the hole back together so I would stop bleeding. And she was bleeding a lot just at the front porch. But then the blood stops just past the front porch. And then 20 hours later or 30 hours later, the crime scene is unsecured for the whole world to trample all over it. And somebody came in yesterday and talked about, because we were talking about some of these pictures and what's been seen in pictures behind front porch guy. And someone said they saw a drone shot of thin tire tracks. I thought they were referring to the car that appears to be a Dodge that may have a custom wheel with the thin tires. But now I thought about it later, and I think the person that came in here that was talking about thin tires meant narrow tire tracks. There was some sort of tracks that were outside the front door, outside the front porch in the dirt, where it looked like possibly, I know people said it was either from a trash bin or a wheelbarrow or a cart, something that rolled, but then they stopped. So if whoever this was, if you meant narrow tire tracks right outside the door, I thought you meant thin tires as on a car, like, sports cars where they get the custom wheels and they have those like paper thin tires that look really weird. Um, but I don't think they had any tire tracks. I think if the car was there, it was out on the street. Ladybugs. If she didn't take her 10 p.m. Okay, we already talked about that. I missed that. Oh, I missed scrolling through the chat. April, in our business, you think she's elsewhere or definitely not alive? Sadly, Bill, I think she's definitely not alive. Ash Cash says she agrees. I can't believe this case is wild. I know. Absolutely, Boston Bill. Dawn says, Boston Bill, I don't think she's alive. It's been too long. Can you imagine if she was 114 days later and all the horror she's been through? Um, uh, okay, I don't understand this whole statement. Verta, the one you were, the new one I am not interested in, just on the Nancy. Hopefully, I'm hoping she is found, but my heart is doing flip-flops, but my gut has the same feeling all the same, okay? Ash Cash, very strange. Me too, Bill. I feel the same way. I was good at what I did. I wish I could have offered my help. I feel the same way. This is the best I can do, is to go online and keep this relevant. Or someone confronted her in the house when she arrived. That's possible, Lori Smith, that there was already somebody there. And then front porch guy, he was part of the cleanup crew or the transportation crew. Boston Bill, she needs to be found or at least get some answers for the family. Absolutely. I don't want this just to go cold and then we never know. They are in my eyes are good and cold Nancy is family. Don McWhorter, there was a wolf in sheep's clothing waiting in my opinion. You might have hit the nail right on the head, Don. Boston Bill says, oh my God, imagine. I know. Can you imagine how devastating it's going to be for Savannah if it does turn out to be something like that? Um, whether it's family or somebody else. Wouldn't she have to make it home if her phone, pacemaker, and everything connected then or disconnected? I don't know about all the details of how all that works. Well, it was connected to her phone and her Apple Watch. And her phone and her Apple Watch were found at the scene of the crime on the bedstand next to her bed. And it was still sinking up until I think 2:28 in the morning. No problem, Rochelle. Welcome in, my new Canadian friend. I'm so happy to have people in here from Canada. We had somebody in here from Austria earlier. I don't know if they're still here. Boston Bill, exactly. So many unanswered questions. What about the aunt to the girls, and why are the two in hiding if they have nothing to hide? I wish you could do something. All I can do is, come on to YouTube as often as I can and keep this relevant, as many other YouTubers are doing. Yes, Dawn McWhorter said Christy, she probably had all of that with her when she went to the party at Annie and Tommaso's. Yeah. Lori Smith, I thought after he knocked her unconscious, used her dolly to get her to the car. It was on the side of the house. Hope they DNA checked it. You would think, especially with fresh, narrow tire tracks right outside the front porch. Rochelle, I have listened to most of the Z interview again, and you are right, April. He said permanent resident. Absolutely. Not permanent citizenship. No, there is no such thing as permanent citizenship. You're either an alien resident or you are a citizen. Thank you for the correction. Yeah, no problem. I thought I didn't hear the whole thing, but when I watched it the second time and then part of it a third time, I was like, oh yeah, well, so he claims. Now, he could be, and he just, lied about it and said, no, I just have a green card. But why would you lie about it? So yeah, the Z-Man claims he is not a U.S. citizen and that he does have a green card, but a green card that would probably be revoked if you try to step back foot into the U.S., assuming that he hasn't been here, assuming that he doesn't have another passport, which we've talked about this the last 2 days. Foreign nationals often have passports from multiple countries. In the U.S., you can only have two if you're a U.S. citizen. But I talked about, Ryan Roots of Rally Roots that, born in Africa or South Africa, excuse me. I mean, South Africa is in Africa, but, a South African citizen with a father who has a citizenship of the UK, being from Glasgow, Scotland, and a mother who, although Irish descent, has a citizenship of New Zealand, which then is interchangeable with Australia. And, if he got his US citizenship, he would have to give up two of the three that he already has, and he doesn't want to. But there's a lot of people from other countries that have multiple passports. So the one that he showed in the interview may not be the only one. There could also be a replacement passport or an earlier passport that we haven't seen. Let's see. Boston Bill. That's strange. Why would the watch be off? Or did she take it off? Did someone else leave it behind on purpose? Well, she took it off to put it in the charger because it was an Apple Watch. So she put it in the charger on her nightstand at bedtime. Oh. Well, we got to take somebody out. There you go. Dawn. I subbed to a YouTube channel that did the interview with Z, and watching it real time, it was nuts and it seemed very suspicious. Oh. I have things I can't tell you, Dawn, publicly or even privately in an email. There are things I cannot say here. Everything is an opinion, and everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Rochelle, I heard a story yesterday about a lady that went to a guy's house posing as in need of gardening, and it was full of band equipment like tomato. The guy is Aaron, and he tried to attack her. She ran out. I've heard that name the last few days, this Aaron. What do we know about this Aaron? Oh, so the lady went to the guy's house, posing as in she needs of gardening, and it was a full of band equipment. Okay. I've just heard the name lately, but I don't know really who this Aaron fellow is. It was in Scottsdale. Uh, Christy, too many dots to connect in this case. Yeah, kind of does, doesn't it, Christy? If you see my video on the 6 degrees of separation or the suspect video. And I did pin a comment last night, just so you guys know, because that video is over a month old. In the video, I had originally said that this is very important. Hey, Brenda! Oh my God. You know what? You get this just because it's Brenda. Usually I don't hype the jewels anymore, just hype the super chats. Hold on, let me scroll down. Brenda Lesesny, everybody say hello to my cousin Brenda, big supporter of my channel, and thank you for your membership, Brenda. Oh, you're not a member any, are you? I can't see it. Are you still a member? Or you're not a. You were a member. Usually, you'll have a little star after your name. Um, oops, possibly related to Richard. Oh, you mean Richard, the like the off guy, the mentally off guy? Uh, does not make sense that this was not treated right from the start, or things would have not turned out this way and Nancy would be home. That's very possible, Berta, especially for the mistakes that were made. I don't know much about him either, other than the story he is supposedly like Richard. Oh, okay. I know what you're saying, Rochelle. I get it now. Yeah, I've heard the name, but apparently he called in or something. I don't know much about that. Uh, the Burger Chef guy. Is that Aaron? Who is the Burger Chef guy? Oh, you're still a member? Oh, there it is. You know what? I think because when you sent the jewel, like that, like it didn't show up or something. It's there now. Uh, it wanted to send me a text saying that Brenda Lesesny sent the flow state. Let me see. I got to get my screen caught up, the computer screen. Yeah, it's way behind in the chat. So thank you, Brenda, once again. Brenda, she is my only level 2 member. Thus, you got the free high porn there. Just saying, you deserve it. And I appreciate that. Everything has helped so much. I wanted to send you a text the other day about something, but I just didn't have time yet. I don't even have time to go. I've been needing to go to the pharmacy for a week to pick up a prescription, but I'm just so like wrapped up in this case. Christy, Aaron was on the interview room first, and Chris was questioning him and said he wasn't being truthful since erased. I heard that there was an interview on another channel and it got erased. She called Sleuth Intuition and told him Aaron became violent with her. Oh, wow. Uh, And Richard is calling into other creator channels also. Yeah. I I don't even have Richard on my radar. Where's Cameron in all this mess? He's working in the military, Verta. Christy. Aaron said he had a handyman business, but when she went to the address for his business, it was all band equipment. Oh, okay. Huh. Maybe I should know more about Aaron. Barbara. Hi, April. How are you? I'm here. Surviving, Barbara. How are you, my dear? Hey, Holly. I haven't seen you before. Where are you coming in from, Holly? Anything new? Now, we were just talking about the Jennifer Coffindoffer ex-FBI agent theories. Although you should see the last several videos that I've made because I talk about, I don't know if you've seen these, Brenda, but I talked about, I had a 45-minute phone conversation with an ex-FBI agent, and I did a video about that. Then I sent a letter that took I thought it was going to be 15 minutes, and it took me a day in the middle of the night and a night of lost sleep to write, and it ended up being 8 pages. It should have arrived on Saturday, but it's a holiday weekend. They probably won't see it at the earliest tomorrow, if the right person even gets to see it. And then we had the two videos. The last two videos were about this interview that was on this other channel. Now, remember, I'm not here to promote other channels, and I don't really like to talk about other channels in my chat, but it was, it was worth a listen. And I was saying right when Brenda came in, I got distracted. I'm so happy she came in because I mentioned you earlier, Brenda, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen Brenda lately. Um, on the suspect video that I made more than a month ago, I said, and this was based on prior information, that Luke Daly had bought that car the day after the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. But that has been since amended. I can't change the video, but I put in a pinned comment. If anybody wants to go see the suspect video, please read the pinned comment that the car was actually sold to Luke on February 7th. And that is per Z-Man, who is sitting in another country, 10,000 miles away or whatever it is. But he knows an awful lot about the transaction and the cashier's check, and it was bought on the 7th. Barbara, you should be on this case. You are working very hard. Barbara, I'm not licensed in Arizona, but I was briefly licensed in Arizona years ago, but I never had time to go to Arizona to conduct investigations because I'm just too busy in California. Remember, the county I live in is bigger than 40 US states, and I didn't just work in LA County. I worked in, many counties in California, so there was no time to utilize the Arizona license that I had for a few years. And um, yeah, and I'm mostly retired now due to disability here in California. And I do have, you're not going to believe this. It's hard to see on green screen. This just came, and I saw this, and I thought, oh, I sighed. This is the PI license renewal that you have to get going at least 60 days before the renewal date, or they won't process it because they're that backed up. They're that understaffed and underfunded, and they have raised the price considerably. And, on a limited income, I got to figure out now, how am I going to pay this bill? Because this will be valid until the day I take my last breath, whether it's next week, next year, or 20 years from now. I will always have the PI license current. And if this one's in the mail, that means my guard card, it's right behind it. And then that will have to be renewed. So I'm just like, oh my God, I'm just starting to get caught up on the ambulance bills. And I have enough money set aside for the pharmacy bills. But now this one has arrived. So I got to get more subs and more viewers here because I'm just not making it, people. But thank you for just watching helps, subbing helps, sharing the channel with your friends or your family helps. What? Ladybug says, hey, Brenda, my North Carolina, South Carolina neighbor. Who is Luke? That would be Luke Daly. So if you see the suspect video and you see me say that he bought the car on February 2nd, read the pinned comment. Always read the pinned comments in the videos because sometimes I update things. In even the lives, I'll pin a comment later and say, hey, this needs to be corrected or amended, or this has since changed. You know, according to Z-Man, the car was purchased on February the 7th, which would be 6 days after her disappearance. Now, we still don't know the timing of when Luke's car that was sitting in the driveway on the raid of the 13th, when did the Dodge Charger get in the really bad accident? We still need to know the who, what, when, where, why, and how of that one, just in my opinion. Let's see. Yeah, ladybugs, goodbye. Berta, all of the people mentioned from others that of some of the group that Tommy and Annie are associated with in some way. There is the 6 degrees of separation. Continue to watch the videos. Ladybugs, me too. I'm just across the line from you. Oh, okay. You're talking to Brenda. Could you maybe do consulting for PIs? I am a PI. uh, I still do have the active license, and it will be renewed soon, hopefully. Oh my God. Uh, and I'm not forbidden from working entirely, but I am legitimately disabled. So the company still has its business license, and I still personally have my PI license. And, I still, retain a few clients, but, not being able to walk more than 10 feet without a cane, there's not much that I can do. But I would love to consult actually with Savannah. That's who I would like to consult with. I wish she could just get on a plane right now if her plate wasn't already full and she could get her butt to Los Angeles. Because then I think I could know more than I already know, and it would be private. I wouldn't be able to talk about it here, but I've worked these kinds of cases before, but none exactly like this, because this very rarely ever happens that an 84-year-old woman is taken. But I'm an expert at celebrity cases. And this is a celebrity case just because of who Nancy's daughter is. Dawn, my theory is that the supposed perp used the RR and then brought it back. Oh, the Range Rover. What? And then brought it back to the supposed car lot. And then Luke Daly bought the car, possibly not knowing it was involved in the NG kidnapping. I have said from the beginning, I would like to know the history on the Range Rover. I would also like to know the history on the Dodge Charger. Just saying. I'm not going to say why, but if this were my case and I do have access to DMV, I would need the entire history of both of those cars. In fact, I would subpoena that in my case. Now, there has to be third-party consumer notice in California, but I'd still do it. I'd want the entire history. How much is this letter bill? Oh, you mean this? The PI license? I haven't opened it up yet, Sarah. Is that what you mean? Oh my God. Let me look. And no, Sarah, don't you dare. Let me see how much it is. I always have to sign my life away. There's so much BS to go through just to do this every year, or it's actually every 2 years. Ew. You know what? I saw the late one. First, I saw 442, but no, that's if it's late. It's 296. It's due 8/31, but it has to be processed at least 2 months in advance, or it's considered late. Yep, 296. Used to be 150 every 2 years, and then last year it went up. It almost doubled last year. Rochelle says, wow. Barbara, April, I understand. I wish you the very best. Thank you, Barbara. You know what? All you guys have been so supportive. It's keeping me going every day. You guys are like giving me life again, especially after the loss of my friend, which has just sucked the life out of me every single day since October 2022. And it's, we're almost halfway through 2026. And it sucks the life out of me every day. And this is, as she would say, April, this is a good distraction for you. Still miss her much. And let's not talk about that because I don't want to get emotional again like I did two videos ago. That I still feel bad about that. Although you guys were very understanding. Don McWhorter, that video has me intrigued. You mean the Z-Man video? Or one of my videos? Let me know which video. Hey, Donna, where are you coming in from? Donna Garthwaite. Rochelle, tongue in cheek. Night driving in the desert with no lights and no roads is my guess. I don't think a Charger would do very good driving through the desert. I'm just saying. That's so bad. Oh, Lori Smith, you'd be sitting pretty if you lived in another state. Cost of living probably 50% less than other states. But you know what? My income ability would be zero in other states. And I don't think I'd want an $8 an hour minimum wage job in another state. Just saying. This is my home. This has been my home since I was a year old. Even when I moved around as a child, California has always been my home. I would die quickly in another state, probably. Best of luck with your bills. Absolutely. You know what? Just keep growing the channel and it'll help. Ladybugs, your views, you guys sharing and subscribing and commenting in the videos and commenting in the chat and participating. That all helps. Just go to the playlist and hit play all. Ladybugs, you know something? It's kind of funny because I was sitting here last night on a content creator's channel watching it, came across my mind, and I was thinking maybe the YouTubers should gather and get a PI. Maybe so. VMIS, did you see JLR and Voices of the Missing find the pajamas today? No, I didn't. Peniel County, 30 or so minutes from Tucson. The officers were so nice. Pima could take a lesson. I didn't see that, VMIS. They took the article and bagged it. Hopefully bagged it and tagged it. Trying not to use full names, LOL. Ladybugs, go get them. Please, Miss April, help us find her. I want to find her. And I mean, my friend Nancy's like, you got to do this. And, you need this reward to survive. That's not why I'm doing this. I wasn't even monetized for the first, how many days was it? I started this February 2nd. So that was 27 days in February and then 25 days in March. So for the first 52 days where I had hundreds of thousands of views, I wasn't even monetized. That's not why I'm doing this. Now that I am, it's definitely going to help. Just to, pay for all the equipment. Not too bad. Nursing license is a lot more. Sarah! Oh my God. Saraf, don't make me cry on my channel again. Everybody give Saraf a like. He says, I got you, April. It's in your PayPal. I was going to renew it anyway and pay it off later, Saraf. I really was. Right now, I didn't expect my phone to die, and I didn't expect my iPad to die. That's been a crusher. And I figured, when I get that paid off, then I'll I'll challenge. This will be my next challenge. Oh, and there's somebody that's been in the chat today that sent me a very large private donation, and you know who you are. I wouldn't have survived the next year's worth of prescriptions or this year's worth of prescriptions without that. Thank you so much. Not necessary, but thank you. Sarap, let me wrap my loving arms around you, sir. And I have my notifications turned off during the live, so if it's there, which I'm sure it is, I can't see it. I'll see it after the live, and I'll get back to you. Berta, I do not read all videos because you can't believe all you read, but only read some case. Some sounds like a daily circus. Yes, going on because too much is being contradictive. Yes. Well, there's a lot of just clickbait channels and AI channels as well. Yeah, go see the video with the possible perps on the video tab and see the comment, because I have, in the video it says that Luke bought the car on February 2nd, and according to Z-Man, who's on the other side of the ocean, very far away in the Middle East, he says emphatically, even though he's not here, that car was bought on February 7th, and it was Luke Daly and his mother that came in together, and the woman, meaning Mary Chapman Daly, she brought in a cashier's check, and the balance was paid in full. They bought it with cash, basically, not even finance. Christy, I finally caught you live. I usually watch you every night. Thank you for being so personal and actually read your messages. I try. I can't get back to all of the Gmail messages. Once again, my Gmail is aprildavispi@gmail.com. And we talked about yesterday how there's a few people here that are getting confused between the live videos and the playbacks on the lives, and the ability for the chat. It takes 24 to 48 hours after a live for the chat to come back, and then you'll see the thanks button, which is basically the same thing as the super chat button, but in a long form video. After it's posted and a live is processed, then they call it the thanks tab. If you don't see the thanks tab in the chat, that's because it's still processing. But if you are in the comments and you want to see live chat on playback, swipe left. Because people get really mad. They think I'm live at 2:00 in the morning California time, and they don't understand why I'm not talking to them. Well, because nobody's here. There's no live at 2 a.m. But thank you for watching, Christy. And no, I wasn't talking about you. Just there's been a few issues lately, things that I never thought would come up being a monetized channel. I mean, I expected the trolls, yeah, but the amount of confused people, and I know that YouTube is hard. I'm still learning. I just learned last week or this week how to pin a comment in my own chat. YouTube is hard. That was very interesting with both channels. Yes, bag the PJs. I'll have to see that. I know about the PJs that were found in the wash, like the pajama bottoms that were found in the wash behind Annie Tommaso's place. Kathy, I saw that it was a good view. The cops were great. I saw that it was a good view. The cops were great. I hope it's a clue to Nancy. God, I hope. But there's so much garbage out in the desert. And that's why I think that somebody like the United Cajun Navy or a similar professional search and rescue group, not only could they possibly find Nancy, but they could find other missing people, and they could also all take baggies with them and grabbers, and make sure you got your rattlesnake boots on, man. Make sure you got your boots and your rattlesnake shields that go all the way to your knees. And you can buy those off of Amazon, by the way. Yeah, I had to buy a pair once. I think I ended up sending them back because it still exposed my ankles because I had to crawl. It's something I can't talk about in the Hollywood Hills. I had to go into a rattlesnake infested area in the Hollywood Hills, and I actually bought I forget the name of them. There's a special name, and they go from the top of the shoe up to the knee. But between the shoe and my ankle, I was exposed, and that's most likely where a rattlesnake is going to hit you. Bang, bang, bang. In the blink of an eye, a rattlesnake can hit 2 or 3 times. But yeah, get the proper boots that go higher. Maybe it didn't work for me because I didn't have the right shoes. Get boots that go higher and then put the rattlesnake things in front of you. But they could find other missing people. They could find clues to other missing people. They could just, for an environmental purpose, they could clean all the trash out of the desert that gets, remember, when it rains out there and you get these monsoonal storms, the desert floods, and then everything is like a river and everything gets carried for miles. Just like what happens to LA and the LA River, and then the oceans get full, and then it all like backs up onto our shore. And they have to get like big tractors to come like get it all, and then those piles have snakes in them. Like, these groups, the United Cajun Navy specifically, I would guarantee you they would probably find some bones out there that are human, that may or may not even be Nancy's. It could help solve other crimes, especially with DNA. They could take an old bone and they can get DNA. Look, the other day, they found this prehistoric bone while somebody was actively looking for Nancy, and something was found. Yeah, I am not sub to JLR either, Don. I do watch him occasionally though, but I'm not sub to him. I just don't have the time. Um, that is very interesting, ladybugs. They bag the PJs. Oh, Dawn, thank you for thanking Sarop. I don't want to burst out in tears like I did the other day talking about Kelsa. So it's not that I'm not thankful. I'm trying to keep it together here. If you're still here, Sarop. Um, Ladybug says, you came up on my YouTube recommendations to watch this evening. Well, great. Rochelle says, so sweet, Saraf. And yeah, Rochelle, she's new here. She's one of my Canadian friends, but she, as short as you have been here in the amount of time, you have been a huge supporter of the channel. Oh no. Oh no. Let's take that out. Yeah, a couple people said that I came up in a video recommendation on News Nation, and I was blown away, and I went and I checked it, and sure enough, a big, huge News Nation video in the comments said, "Go watch April Davis PI," and I was just like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, Sarab, I have to say, he's the number one channel supporter, and it's absolutely not necessary. You can watch this for free. Make sure you're subscribed, though. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Double tap that screen for those hearts, whatever you need to do to get those hearts and those smiley faces. It boosts the algorithm. One last thing, the video I'm talking about was yesterday. Oh, you mean where they found the pajamas in the desert? Leanne, what an amazing guy. Yeah, he's the best. Just to think, if I hadn't survived my stage 3 cancer and then my subsequent heart problems, and trust me, my heart problems were way more serious than my aggressive, very aggressive stage 3 cancer. I would have never met all you guys. I'm blessed to be here. Devin Davis. I've seen you before, Devin. Happy Memorial Day from one Davis to another. And where are your Davises from again, Devin? Most of my Davises are all from Illinois. Well, before they came from the territory of North Carolina. Brenda, if you're here, I'll tell you more about that. Yeah, because I used to ask my dad that. Well, where did they come from? And he said, Illinois. Well, where did they come from before Illinois? And he said, Wales. But I kind of doubted that they just got on a boat in the UK and landed on the East Coast and took, a wagon train out to Illinois. It turns out I was right. They helped establish the Northwest Territory of North Carolina, but that goes hundreds of years back. Um, Everybody that my family knows of was on both sides, Illinois. Um, he lies to be honest. All I can do is read that statement. um, I am aware of the criminal past. I am. By consulting, I meant a service like Ask a Lawyer, but Ask a PI kind of thing, strictly online. Devin Davis, is this video you talking about in your video section? Yeah, you mean the suspect video, Devin? That's in the under the video tab. And I can't believe I've only ever made one long form since then because I've been doing these lives every day, like sometimes twice a day. I did miss a live on February 6th because I was on the operating table and was not allowed to sleep from the night before, so I had to have the surgery and then rush home and be put to bed. So I did miss February 6th. Can't make a video when you're, unconscious. Maggie, sure, some sketchy characters living in close proximity to Miss Nancy. Yeah. How are they affording these expensive homes in these exclusive neighborhoods? That's a very good question. I often ask that in my own town. There was a grave there too. Where, Kathy? Where was there a grave? Where they found the pajamas? Verta, the Range Rover and things has me really thrown for a loop and wondering if right or wrong on my feel for it, but does not to me feel, period. Okay. Devin, that was what I was thinking. This might turn up other people that are missing. I almost guarantee it that if they did a thorough search of that desert, which would be very hard to do, I mean, it'd be a massive operation because we don't know how many miles out this case could possibly go. Could this case even go to another state? I mean, but the most likely scenario is that she's local, and I would start within 5 miles of her home if I started that search. How many days did they use dogs? Apparently, just the one day to try to track the scent. But they were not cadaver dogs, as far as I know, from Border Patrol. That's a different type of specialty. There are drug dogs, there are bomb dogs, there are scent following dogs to locate, there are cadaver dogs. Verta Donnelly, sign your papers, you deserve it. Dawn says, very true, April. Hugs to you, Dawn. It was a long sleeve cotton type tee, possibly a PJ top. That sheriff has turned them down twice, Martha Hale. Welcome in. That sheriff wouldn't allow the Cajun Navy to look. Exactly. And they've since made another plea and apparently have been turned down a second time. What color were those PJs and do they know if they are Nancy's? I think it would be a small percentage, but Martha, I agree with you. So glad I found this channel. I'm so tired of the AI crap. Agreed. And if you are doing AI videos and you are a content creator, please be warned that YouTube could drop the hammer and you're just gone. I noticed that in Clutch Them Pearls, he'll often flash up on his live stream that he is showing a clip due to the Fair Use Act. And I can already tell you that, I thought some of the clips that I was putting in my former videos, that they were covered due to the Fair Use Act. And when they uploaded, they would tell me if there was a violation or not and if it was okay to put. And they still nailed my ass. Excuse my language. They nailed my ass. And it took over a year to get this channel going again because I then went delete, 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 delete. And some of those videos I wish I had, especially since Disclosure Day. There's a couple of the alien stories that I wish I had. Christy says, yesterday on Mark the Shark at 1 hour and 13 minutes, I think it was the call in from the lady that was attacked by Aaron. She called the FBI and reported it. Wow. Yeah, I don't know a lot about that fellow, but I have heard the name lately. Remember the suspect video? That was more than a month ago. And things that were said in that video, especially things about that car, have been updated. And that's why I pinned the comment last night in the middle of the night. I'm like, you know what? Because I was watching it back and I'm like, I need to update this. But I don't think I'm going to take the time to do a long form update because only maybe 500 or 600 people have watched it and I just can't make it on that alone. Who do we speak of here? Who's Aaron? Ladybugs. My daddy would always tell me about the North Territory area of my state, North Carolina. Yeah, my family helped settle it. And the line they traveled, the list goes on and on. He's passed on now. Yeah, that all connects to Daniel Boone as well. The Boones, the Davises, the Carters, and the very famous royal Bryan family from Ireland. Well, actually, they were from the UK and then kind of invaded Ireland. Like, oh my God, did some of the relatives that I have their genes literally leave Wales in the UK and go invade another country? But they may have. Uh, it's really hard because you can't go back to the 1400s and 1500s and get actual birth certificates and DNA. Oh, good, Brenda. Randy has some of my family heritage info from North Carolina. You know, Brenda, do me a favor. Ask Randy if he has any information about great-great-grandfather Frank, whose real name was Francis, and I won't say the last name here, but you know what I'm talking about. On our grandmother's side, her grandfather served in the Union in the Civil War as a blacksmith. I would like to be able to get some sort of proof. I don't think I can get proof that you and I are actually related to great-great-grandfather Frank, because we could become I guess, a certified member of the Daughters of the Union veterans from the Civil War. If he has any information, let me know. I do have some family files, but just ask him specifically about great-great-grandfather Frank. Kathy says, by PJ's Top. Christy, Aaron was suspicious guy that called in on the interview room. Oh, you see, I don't watch that, but I heard that someone called in and that the video has since been deleted, but I don't watch the person. Ladybugs, the area where I'm from, Seven Creeks, stands for the swamps and Indian trails. We still find old arrowheads every once in a blue moon. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've become a big lover of history once I became a metal detectorist, but sadly, because of my current state of disability, I will never be able to metal detect again. That kind of makes me sad because that's what I wanted to do for my retirement. You know, since I live in one of the coolest beach cities in the world. Christy, as far as a grave by PJ Tuff was not a grave. Sheriff dug in it and found nothing. Okay. Kalea, I haven't seen you in a while. I just got to Florida yesterday. Welcome in, Kalea. Don, YouTube is getting more stricter and cutting a lot of people's channels. I hope so. I've certainly learned my lesson from the first time. Like, I'm not showing any clips of anything anymore except for myself. I still have to figure out how to catch the long form algorithm, but it's really hard to catch that when you don't have time to do the long form videos at this point. My family came over from Ireland. Some of my family did too, Don. on my mother and father's side, which I don't think my father knew about that in his lifetime. Ladybugs, Ulysses Grant is part of my family from the Daughters of the Revolutionary War. This is interesting. Yeah, I found out some of my relatives that came over were also in the Revolutionary War. But I want to get the information on the great-great-grandfather from the Civil War first. I just, my plate is so full right now. The lady called in to Mark the Shark last night. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't watch him, Rochelle. I've heard of him, though. 53 people here. Now 47. 58 thumbs up. That's cool. I got more thumbs up than I got viewers. But if you're a viewer right now and you haven't given me a thumbs up yet, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, I just hit 3K this week. I'm sitting at 3061. It's been going up pretty quick lately, but not during this video right now. I think I started at, what was it? I said it at the beginning. It was 3050 something. Now I'm at 3061. Let's get it up a little higher. Let's get it up a lot higher. Because instead of setting my next goal for 4K, I'm just going to jump right over that and go to 5K. But remember, life is short, people. You never know what tomorrow will bring. Yeah, I don't watch Mark the Shark. I've heard about him from other YouTubers. But yeah, at the beginning of this video, if you haven't come in from the beginning, go back and watch. We talked about the Jennifer Coffindoffer theories, and I talked about a little of my own theories. Go April pole vault. Wouldn't that be something if I could do that? Oh my God. Wouldn't that be something? I just want to make it to the laundry room and the trash can in the back of the building without falling down. Is there anything else anybody wants to add here? I do need to eat today. I haven't really eaten much yet, and I got to get ready. I'm not missing the game today. I missed my big sports day, which comes once a year, Memorial Day, Memorial Day Sunday. I missed just about everything. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I sure enjoy seeing you guys. Absolutely, Dawn. That's what I believe. Especially after talking to the retired FBI agent who's a comrade of mine in California as a PI. All these authorities, etc., have to know something, but keeping it under wraps away from the public. I sure hope that's the case. I sure hope we're not back at square one. Like after this hair comes back and they don't get anything, if that happens, God forbid, let's not be back at square one. And, because then this is just going to go cold and this is never going to be solved. Uh, if you know something, call 1-800-CALL FBI. If you know who Front Porch Guy is, call 1-800-FBI or go down to the Pima County Sheriff's Department in person. It's so dry here. And we're on fire, we're still on fire again today. Oh, there's so much like dry air. It feels like the desert here. We shan't keep you. Enjoy the game and bon appetit. Thank you. Um, Verta says, I do watch the ones from Brian, even though has become boring, even though I love him. I love Brian Enton too. And it was actually his channel, Brian Enton of News Nation, that has almost, well, last time I checked, it was almost 3 million followers, where people were coming into my channel saying they saw my name in his chat. And I was like, wow. Now, it's not, he didn't mention me, but some of his viewers mentioned me in chat. Dawn says, you need to eat something. I do. Love you, and I'll chat with you again. Thank you, Dawn. And thank you to everybody that sent a super chat today. Okay, this is flashing at me. You can't see it, but I can see it. Hold on. Oh, it gives me this little flash at the bottom of my screen. It says the goal ended and to start another goal. And we've already had like huge contributions apparently off the channel today. But I'm going to just start the goal of the jewels since some of you guys still have the free credits. I need to put this lip moisturizer on. And as soon as I can get my pharmacy stuff picked up this week, I will go back to the mailbox because I believe that someone is in the chat has sent me a couple Amazon gift cards, and they don't let the digital cards be given away or be purchased in the wish list store. They have to be the physical ones. So for those or that person, you know who you are, who sent me the physical ones, I will be at the box sometime. I'm not sure what day yet, but I will be at the box sometime this week, hopefully, to get those cards. And those are going to help a lot because I order a ton from Amazon, especially like the cat supplies and the bunny supplies. And that bunny, she goes through more bunny litter than the cat goes through cat litter. And her bunny litter is more expensive than the cat litter. Bunnies just eat and go to the bathroom all day long. So I have tons of things I can always buy on Amazon. The bunny litter, the cat litter, her hay. Oh my God. Most of my bunnies in the past don't want to eat their hay, and she's a normal bunny as far as her hay consumption, which is good because it'll keep her alive for hopefully many years to come. Um, oh, no, no, no. We're not going to make a comment like that and get away with it. Dang, Leslie. I just had to take somebody out. Yes, I do have a bunny, and she's actually on this channel. If you go to the playlist, click the animal playlist, and you'll see the bunny and the cat. And you'll even see my prior cat, Alfie. I miss him so bad. I have 2 cats, but I've always a bunny for a long time. You've always wanted a bunny or you have a bunny? I've had bunnies since childhood. And I wouldn't recommend a bunny for someone that has a small child. That's not the pet to get. Bunnies are hard. And I saved her when, the doctors were still trying to save me. And then when I saved the cat, less than, what was it, a month later, that I was in the critical cardiac unit at a hospital in Los Angeles. And I thought, oh my God, my poor kitty, I just got her. And they've both been through so much. All 3 of us. I hang on for them. Without them, I would have no reason to keep fighting. They are my heart. Bunnies are great. If you get a bunny, ladybugs, don't buy it at a pet store. Go through a bunny rescue that's in your area and make sure that you can properly care for that bunny. Oh, that's sorry. That's terrible, Martha. Your poor pug just found out that he's diabetic. That's rough, but with proper care, he can live. But that sucks. I'm sorry, Martha. Give your pug a kiss from me. Before I timed this last troll out of here, I should have uh, asked him to send that $100 in a super chat before I just very quickly hit that timeout button. See, I got to learn that sometimes when these people challenge me for money, that I should have them send the money first before they get taken out. Ladybugs, my aunt and uncle used to. They don't anymore. Do you still have to keep cords and such off the floors? Absolutely. The spicy hay. I've lost my internet twice here, but she's been pretty good. I've lost my cell phone, very expensive mag charger. Oh, and I've lost endless cell phone chargers and my internet twice. Ready to snap. I like that, ready to snap. Hello. Yeah, I'm just getting ready to go off the air. Oh, the bunny, you can go see. She has videos. Her name is Amelia Kinsley Bunny. And then my cat is named Kelsa Kinsley after the beautiful um, human being, Kelsa Kinsley. You can see her too. Go to my Rest in Peace playlist and you can see the beautiful Kelsa Kinsley. That's where the cat got her name from, and the bunny got her middle name from her while she was actually still with us. And everybody at the bunny rescue place, whenever they see her, because we go to like little dealies over there. I haven't done it lately because I haven't probably been there since 2023 because of my heart. But like, they're all like, "Oh, Amelia Kinsley, I love that name." I love her name too. She even has her own personalized nameplate on her pen. It's not a closed pen; it is open. She is a free roam bunny. Okay, that's why my mother wouldn't let us have one. I guess we don't have one or had one. Yeah, I had a couple as a child that my mother actually got, but they were kept outside, and that was the very wrong thing to do. It makes me sad to think about that. But she just was ignorant and didn't know better. Yeah, definitely keep your bunnies inside and keep your bunnies vaccinated. Your granddaughter is Amelia. Nice. Mine's Amelia with an A. My bunny, Amelia Kinsley with a K. I guess I should go. Okay, you can go, Leslie. I guess I should go MMZ. Hi. Okay. I'm not sure what you mean, but thanks for coming. And thank you to Brenda, if you're still here, you're still listening, for sending that the flow jewel. Thank you to Saraf. He came in and gosh, he did the super chest today and apparently did a PayPal too, but I can't see the notification yet because I'm still on the show. Yeah, some of my notifications will have a way of taking out my audio, and then I have to close out my video earlier than I intended. So that's why I always have to remember during the lives, like, take off the notifications. The typos tickle me sometimes. I know. We got to have some humor here. But once again, prayers for Nancy. Hashtag justice for Nancy. Savannah, I know you're probably not watching, but hugs to you. Savannah, my thoughts are with you. You can contact me anytime. Anytime you can contact me, Savannah. I'd love to have a heart to heart about this with you. Thank you, Saraf. Thank you. Everybody, thanks Saraf once again. Totally unnecessary. I will actually get this renewal going this week. That's on the top of my to-do list. Yeah, justice for Nancy with the yellow hearts. Absolutely. I feel like that this woman is the grandmother that I never had because all my grandparents died young. Um, she would be the age, she would be around my mom's age. She's too young to be my grandmother, but I just think of her as America's grandma. And even if her life ended tragically, I do think that Savannah and Cameron and Annie were very fortunate to have a mom like Nancy Guthrie. Bring Nancy home, says Rochelle. I'm so glad you're coming in here, Rochelle. I have a special feeling in my heart for Canadians. My dad was naturalized Canadian, and my bestie that passed was Canadian, and I know you guys are from the same province, so it's just extra special to have you here, Rochelle. And I don't think that person is still here, but thank you to the person who came in from Austria. That's another country we can add to the long list. Ladybug, Miss Nancy was the age of my grandmother when she died in 2014 at 84 years old. That's how old my mom was when she passed. It makes me cry daily inside my heart. It just hurts because I think of my own grandmother. Yeah, none of my grandparents made it near to 84. Most of my immediate family was just taken out from the same disease that I suffer from cancer. Rochelle, thank you for the warmth, April. You're the best. You're the best, Rochelle. And Mr. Saraf, thank you. It's very hard for me to think that my life has turned into this, and I have to survive from donations, you know? In fact, a week from now, I have to pay my new rent payment. It's just been jacked up again. Like, oh my God. Like, I wouldn't be surviving without you guys. Um, that's why I call her our internet grandmother. I think she's this nation's grandmother. I think she's the world's grandmother at this point. Feels so surreal, and she's not even my own grandmother. I know, and I feel the same about Savannah. And I've known who Savannah Guthrie is for decades, but I don't know Savannah personally. I know a few people who do know Savannah personally, but I don't know Savannah personally. And I've had people that come into the chat that have either know Savannah or have met Savannah, and I just feel more connected to her. Um, I hope she's not upset that I come on here and do these videos and I'm trying to keep her mother's case relevant. Saraf, it's not donations. We were sent to help you. Like you helped lots of people. Yes, I did. I shouldn't say it here, but they used to call me Batgirl during my career. And one of the healthcare workers that helped get me through a lot of this, she never called me April. She always called me Batgirl. But that's just how things rolled for me. Everybody's been put here on Earth for a certain reason. But if you guys want to see the bunny videos or the kitty videos, please go to the playlist. Or if you're just new here, go to the Nancy Guthrie playlist or the True Crime playlist and start it from the beginning. Go watch my long form videos under my video tab. And at some point, I will have to reduce the days that I do this so that I can get out at least close to my house and try to find something to make a video about. I still want to go out on another coyote hunt because I love my coyotes that are here. I wish I had a house with a backyard and I could have like a night camera set up and get someone to help me get professional equipment, and I could have, like the raccoons coming to eat the snacks and the deer coming in because we got plenty of that around here. But, I live in an apartment building, so there's nowhere for me to set up a live cam or a wildlife cam is basically what I would love to set up. Have that going at night and then, have my videos and true crime going during the day. It would just be perfect. Yeah, the entire world's grandmother. I agree, ladybugs. Yeah, well, everybody, thank you. Sarap, I don't know what I would do without you, man. Like, it's not necessary. You don't need to do this. Don't anybody donate. Somebody wrote me last night, and I'm not going to name this person, but somebody wrote me an email and said that they are on a fixed income, like myself, but that their house is paid for, and they would like to donate more. And I told that person, you don't need to donate anything. I just appreciate the fact that you've all come in and you've watched my videos. That's where it's at. Let's get more subscribers. Let's get more likes. Let's get more comments. Let's get more people in the chat. Let's just keep bumping this up. Let's just keep getting higher every month, and eventually it'll pay for itself. Uh, Take care, April, and everyone be good. Good night. Love you, Saraf. Love you all.